As a pediatric ER doctor, there's a diagnosis that is one of the more feared diagnoses because it's not rare, but it's not super common. It's super easy to miss, and if you miss it, it can be really bad. I'm going to change details for privacy. So this is a school-age kiddo who presents from an urgent care with concern for acute appendicitis. He's had a couple days of vomiting, low-grade fever, belly pain. And before I even go into the room, I look at the chart and the vital signs are there, and his heart rate's kind of low. For being dehydrated, it should be higher. He's got a fever. That should make the heart rate go up too. His blood pressure's kind of low, and his sats are like kind of in the middle, like 95%. So like, all right, this is a little weird. So I go in, and this kid looks so bad. He's pale. He's really tired. He's fatigued. He just looks terrible. His belly's tender all over. His cap refill's really slow. So I'm like, this is not good. So I go out and I grab some nurses. I'm like, hey, this kid is not well. So let's get him on the monitor. Let's get some fluids going. Let's get some labs going. Like, let's just do all of the things kind of quickly. And as I'm saying all this, a trauma alert goes off. So I run in, I take care of the trauma alert, I get them settled. Then I come back in, and he's on the monitor, and the squigglies that should be like nice and skinny up and down squigglies are kind of wide. His QRS is widened, and I'm like, I don't like that at all. And about that time, his labs are coming back. His kidney function's super high, creatinine's high, liver enzymes are high, and I was like, this is not good. Let's get this kiddo into a trauma room. So we get him into a trauma room, and I get a chest x-ray at bedside, and his heart is huge. So like, this is not good. So I called cardiology, and I said, I think this kiddo has something like a viral myocarditis. I was able to put ultrasound probe on, and it just, heart is not even squeezing. So that heart not squeezing is not getting blood flow all the places that he needs it, like his brain, his kidneys, his liver, and that's why he's starting to have some shock injury to his organs. So they call the ECMO team in very quickly, and all of a sudden things are happening. We're intubating, we're getting lines, we're doing all of this stuff, we're giving meds, and thank God, really right at the nick of time, we were able to get him on ECMO, get blood pressure back up, perfuse those organs, and it was confirmed that he did have viral myocarditis. But we caught him in the nick of time. Another hour or two at home, and things could have turned out very, very differently. He was positive for enterovirus myocarditis. The vast majority of the time, enterovirus does not cause myocarditis, but in very rare cases, it can. He was on ECMO for about a week. They threw all the meds and treatments at him, and he ended up recovering heart function, all of his organ function, and actually ended up being neuro intact, which was awesome. So he made a full recovery. The reason that we really struggle with diagnosing myocarditis is because kids that look like they have the flu are what myocarditis looks like. It's chest pain, it's a little shortness of breath, it's feeling really tired and fatigued, it's having a little bit of nausea, belly pain, vomiting, looking a little dehydrated. So there's not really a good, easy sign that says, I have myocarditis, this is different than all the other viruses that you see all winter long. Myocarditis is inflammation of the heart muscle, and it can be triggered by infections like viruses, medications, or treatments. It's pretty rare, about 1 in 100,000 kids per year, and it can range from mild to more severe or fulminant, like the patient that I had. It's something to keep an eye out for, especially for me as a physician, because if I'm not thinking about it, I'm going to have a really hard time diagnosing it.